Uthman, you always winning. Tag. Wait, is that the Adhan? I think so, inshallah. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah.
Yeah, man.
Well,
gotta pray.
Yeah, we do gotta pray. We gotta pray. Let's get that in.
Yes, sir.
ASAP.
Ha ha!
I don't know what it is, but what? You know, I've been listening to this program, Sunnahfollowers, and I've been learning a lot, Aki. Man, a lot.
Yeah, like what? What you been learning about?
Man, I've been learning about a lot. Salah, hadith, the life of the Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Man.
Wow, for real though.
And you know another thing? The shows just keep come on back to back. Alhamdulillah.
I just gotta check them out.
For real though.
Yo.
Wow. My guy, if you have any questions, check this out. Every Friday you can call in Sister Layla live. Call her with any one of your questions in regards to this deen, and man, she will answer them. She will get you right. Anyway, inshallah, I'm about to tune into that. But you know something else? If this is going to be a benefit to me, I got to get with that
Sadaqah
Jariyah. All right. Donate to Sunnahfollowers.net. We're here for you. Sadaqah Jariyah. Assalamu alaikum.
Geechee! Don't you think it's time for another one, Geechee? Geechee! Where's Geechee? Geechee, don't you think it's time for another one? Oh. Geechee! Geechee! Get it, Geechee! Get it, Are we live? Oh, wait a minute. Wait. Geechee!
Yes, we're live and we can see you.
Oh, shoot. Where's Geechee? Geechee! Don't you think it's time for another one? Oh, we are live. Okay. Ain't nobody here but us. All right, let's get started, guys. Is everybody here? Seriously, I don't see nobody logged in. Okay, Inna alhamdulillah, wa salat, wa salam ala wa rasulallah. This is our class on the Maqasidic Tafsir. The Maqasidic Tafsir. For those of you who have not yet purchased this book, please make sure you go to Amazon.com. Get this book in addition to the book Know Your Lord and in addition to the book for the kids. I did put the ad up earlier for the My First Salat, which is the book that we'll be using for the children's program on Sundays. We'll be teaching the kids how to pray. And that book is written by Sheikh Kareem Abu Zaid, and it's for kindergarten through third grade. So, and it's got puzzles in it and things, and we're going to work everything together with the kids on Sunday. So you want to get that book too. So you want to get this book, the Maqasidic Tafsir, Volume 1. You want to also get Know Your Lord. Get the children's version of that book too, and the adult version. And also you want to get the book, My First Salat, for the children. Now for this class, we've been speaking about the process that the Quran interpreter will use to help explain things to us. Remember the Quran. When you hear people say, oh, the Quran is a guiding light. What does that mean? It's the light that guides us. What does that mean? It means plain and simply that Allah, He told us everything that we need to know. in order to live a successful life here in this world and to have an even more successful life in the hereafter. But we have to take the words of Allah and apply them to our lives, live it. There is nothing that you or I am experiencing today in our personal lives that Allah has not given us the guidance as to how to deal with it, how to handle it. Allah even goes so far as to tell us that he will never put a burden on any of us that's too great to bear. So that means whatever trial, whatever hardship that we are experiencing in our personal lives, we can handle it. You have to just, first of all, believe in and trust in Allah. And then secondly, believe in yourself. And that's the problem. Many Muslims today do not believe in Allah first and foremost, and they have even lesser belief in themselves. The Quran, unlike what the Christians say, the Quran, it's for all times. It encompasses all eras, all generations. It never gets old. It never becomes outdated. The Quran is the words of Allah. These are the words of Allah that never are outdated. He's given us the medicine. But how many of us are willing to take it? Because the Quran consists of the truth. And the truth oftentimes is a bitter pill to swallow. So I want you guys to think about that. And that's what today's class is about. When we met last week with this class, we talked about the process that the Quran interpreter uses to help make things easier for us to handle in this world. And let me put the PowerPoint up on the screen. Because before I go into today's topic, which by the way, we're going to continue it, we're going to speak about how the Quran interpreter identifies the objective of a chapter. Before we go into details about that, let me give you a quiz from what we discussed last week. First question. Each verse of the Quran carries its own meaning. Is that statement true or false? Each verse of the Quran carries its own meaning. In other words, is there a meaning for each verse in the Quran? Does each sentence in the Quran have a meaning? What do you guys think?
Yes. Yes. I put false, but yes.
Exactly. Of course it does. It wouldn't make sense if it didn't. Exactly. Yeah, every sentence in the Quran carries a meaning. And that's what we spoke about last week. When we read the Quran, it's not just about tajweed. It's about pondering the meaning of each sentence, of each ayah, of each verse. What is Allah saying to you? Because there is a message behind each verse. The problem is how many of us listen to it? How many of us even hear it? How many of us hear the message of Allah? That's the question. What about this? Each chapter of the Quran has its own theme or its own subject or objective. Is that statement true or false?
True.
MashaAllah, good job. We talked about that too. And this is the beauty and the miracle of the Quran. This is how you know that that the Quran is the words of Allah. It's not the creation of Allah. No, no. The Quran are the words of Allah. Each chapter, each surah has its own theme, its own subject, its own purpose and objective. That's something that we have to remember. So when you read Surah Al-Fatiha, it has its own theme, its own purpose, its own objective. When you read Surah Ar-Rahman, as we talked about today, Ar-Rahman, it has its own purpose, its own theme. Okay? Everybody understand that? So what about this? What about this? One verse of the Quran can sometimes carry more than one meaning. Is that statement true or false? One verse of the chapter can sometimes carry even more than one meaning. Is that statement true or false?
True. True, but I don't. Oh, am I unmuted? Okay, I'm gonna say true. Sorry, I didn't know I was unmuted.
Okay, exactly. This is true. You know, there could be more than one aim or one meaning of a verse. You know, Allah can be telling you not only is something unlawful for you, but also Allah in turn can be telling you to pay attention to something else as well. Okay, so one verse, this all shows that when we do read the Quran, when we read a chapter of the Quran, we have to ponder each verse by verse. So let's now get to today's topic. Today we're going to speak about how the Quran interpreter finds what's needed for the person in their life. Okay? Remember that the purpose of the Quran interpreter is to respond to an actual phenomenon that's facing the ummah, or he has to respond or give us what we need to deal with challenges that a leader might be facing, or whatever the social crisis is within the Muslim community. So when something bad happens to us, either individually or collectively, the purpose of the Quran interpreter is to use the Quran as a means of giving us the information that we need to get through or handle whatever that challenge is. And he begins by first identifying a relevant objective that's found in the Quran, or a relative topic or theme. For example, the socio-political scenario. Most things that impact us as an ummah or a nation have to do with society or politics. Just like with this president election. No Muslim in America should have been participating in any presidential elections, because Allah is clear. He's clear in numerous verses of the Quran that a non-Muslim can never be a ruler or a leader over us. That's why Muslim women, in order to have a guardian, your guardian has to be Muslim. Okay? That's clear. So if something impacts us as an ummah from society, okay, then there's a 5-phase process that the Quran interpreter is supposed to use. that will help us to identify a solution to whatever the problem is. And again, whatever solution that we take must be in accordance to what our Prophet Muhammad would have taken or what his companions would have taken. Does everyone understand that? That's the approach that these brothers here in America should have been using instead of thinking they can change the laws of Allah. Okay? With the Prophet Muhammad have told the companions to vote for a non-Muslim because Allah has sent his punishment to us as a nation. Where the Prophet Muhammad and his companions have joined ranks with LGBTQ because of Allah sending a war to us. They lived in war. Every day of the Prophet Muhammad's life as a messenger of Allah was at war. They were doing war. But is there any instance in the Quran where Allah says, because I've sent war to you, that you can abandon my principles, my laws, my rules, my commands? That's what the true Quran interpreters should have been telling the Muslims here in America. Okay? The Quran interpreter will look in the Quran for a surah or a chapter that can become the ideal lens. Somebody deal with that, moderators. The Quran interpreter will look in the Quran for a chapter or a surah that can become the ideal lens by which to view whatever the phenomena is that the Ummah is facing at large. Everybody understand that? That's the purpose. And let me give you another scenario. Another scenario may be that the objective of the Quran interpreter is to provide the purpose of a particular chapter. We talked about that last week. When you look at the chapters, each chapter of the Quran, each chapter has its own meaning, own theme. It has its own purpose. It has its own objective. Okay? So the Quran interpreter may look at a particular chapter in the Quran, just one in particular, that will give the purpose needed for the Ummah. And to do this, he identifies the meaning through a methodological process. He will generate a dynamic purpose from a chapter that represents whatever the present or current difficulty or challenge is that the Muslim Ummah is facing, or even the Muslim individual. We have the hadith where Ibn Atiyah said, the people do not introduce an innovation into their religion without Allah withdrawing its like from their sunnah. This is a big problem that we have today. You know, a lot of Muslims today have abandoned the sunnah. Instead of our learned men and our learned women looking at the Quran and trying to find the purposeful meaning that can be applied to today's challenges. And instead of them considering what the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam have taken this approach to, instead they tweak it. They tweak it like the men are doing here in America. Listen to what the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said. He said, he who does not follow my sunnah in regards to the religion, he is not from me. He is not one of my followers, even though he may claim to be. This saying of our prophet highlights the reality that whenever a hadith or the way of the prophet Muhammad is abandoned, it is filled with other than the guidance of Allah. And that's what happened here in America. You Muslims, you abandoned the Sunnah. You started protesting against the qadr of Allah like the Kafirs do. You boycott, you protest. When you should have been looking at what the Prophet did, how the Prophet handled the times like these. They never protest anything because we don't protest the qadr of Allah. And they didn't go around boycotting people either, not like that. And he told us to stay out of the affairs of the Kafirs. The Prophet Muhammad told us in numerous hadiths, don't concern ourselves with the affairs of the Kafirs. Their rules, their laws are for them. Ours are for us. We don't mix with them in regards to politics and stuff. He didn't mix with the Romans. He didn't mix with the Persians. He didn't mix with the Abyssinians or the Yemenis in regards to their societal issues and their political process. But no, you Muslims in America, you listen to your learned mystic Sufi men. And in turn, you abandoned the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam sunnah. You abandoned his way. And now look at the price you pay. You're just like the Kafirs. You're no different except you claim to be of another belief. But you look like them, you act like them, you fight like them, and you'll die like them. Subhanallah. So, the obligation of the Quran interpreter is to provide leadership to the Muslims. And in order to do that, he must be aware of the major theological, ethical, and moral problems within the community. So he in turn can suggest solutions taken from Allah's book and the sayings of our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So when it comes to identifying the objectives, the Quran interpreter can benefit tremendously, from social sciences such as anthropology, economics, the money situation, geography, even political science and psychology. But they must analyze everything through the eyes of Allah's words and the prophets. Like I said, we don't have a problem with science. We have a problem with people who use science to validate what Allah says. We don't have a problem with a person becoming a geologist, geographist, an economics. We don't have a problem with a person becoming a social worker or even a psychologist. But we have a problem when you use those sciences as a means of validating what Allah has said, or as a means of validating what our Prophet Muhammad said. That's where we draw the line. I have a degree in the science of communication. Communications is a science and it's an art. But do I use my degree in communications to try to validate Allah and his religion or his prophet? No. Okay? So, that's how we try to take the Quran and apply it to our lives today. Again, the interpreter is going to look for a chapter that has a theme or subject that relates to what's happening in the present day world. And then he's going to ask the questions. Does this chapter give us a plan that we can incorporate in our lives? Okay? But again, his job is to take the words of Allah and use them to provide emotional comfort to us, to give us that hope that our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave his companions as they were faced in hardships from the time they converted to Islam till their death. And in order to do this, to find the purposeful meaning of a chapter, the Quran interpreter has to avoid, and this is where we lost it here in America. This is where those brothers in Texas lost it. The interpreter has to avoid engaging in political and social analysis of any ideology other than that which is governed by Allah through the Quran and the Sunnah. That's how the brothers here in America blew it. They got too involved. They are too involved in the political scene in America. They're too involved in social analysis. Like the Prophet said, we don't concern ourselves with that stuff, with the non-Muslims. The companions lived in a non-Islamic state. They lived in the lands of the infidels too. But the Prophet told them you can live in those lands as long as you're able to practice your religion openly. But don't indulge in their political and social schemes. Okay, but the brothers here in America led you Muslims down that road. But the true Quran interpreter, the true scholar, he looks for a meaning, but he avoids that crap. And again, all his findings for the true scholar of the Quran, the true interpreter of the Quran, all his findings, again, must be weighed with the Quran and the authentic hadith. It has to be what the Prophet would have done or the companions. So the interpreter, he may have to search through the entire Quran, chapter by chapter, to find the revelation that applies. Okay? In other words, he may look at every single chapter to find any reference he may need that will help the community at large to deal with whatever the challenge is. However, he should not use just one chapter. That's the key. Nor just a few chapters. He has to go through all the chapters. And this is where we blow it too. You will find some of these brothers who call themselves scholars of the Quran, instead of them reviewing what Allah says about a topic in every chapter, they'll just use one or two or three. That's not the way it's done. Okay? You're supposed to look at whatever the crisis is in that's impacting us and go through the entire Quran and find what applies. Does everybody understand that? I hope this is clear. So that's what today's chapter pages were about, the approach that's taken. As you guys can see, teaching the Quran, using the Quran as guidance correctly is something that's not done today a lot. You see too many men and women going through one or two chapters and using just one or two chapters and what's said in those to try to back up whatever they're doing. They don't look to see how the Prophet handled himself in those situations, how the companions had it handled themselves. They don't even use the systematic approach of applying the hadiths to what their findings are at all. They'll just look for one particular word or theme and stop it at that and misconstrue the meaning of it. That's not how we do. And that's why for a lot of Muslims, you will hear a lot of Muslims today say that they read the Quran and they don't find the strength they need in it. Or you will hear a lot of brothers in these communities say, it seems like the imam is of no benefit. You know, the mosque to come up with a plan, but the plan doesn't seem right. It doesn't feel right because they're not using the proper approach with the Quran to come up with the solutions that we really need as an ummah. All right, so I'm going to stop right here. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Are there any questions or comments? I tried to keep this clear.
I have a question.
Yes.
I understand it from an interpreter or Quran interpreter's point of view, but you know, for someone personally, if they're going through a trial in life and they want to find solutions in the Quran, would they use the same approach just for themselves?
I mean, yes, it is, but again, you have to be a person of knowledge to do that. What does and this is similar to the question you asked the last time. What did this class here? What I'm teaching you, this is the science of the Quran. You learn this in college. People that's taking this class are people that's trying to be scholars of the Quran. Okay? Now, for the average lay person like you, let's just say that you're going through difficulty. You don't know how to use the Quran to find that type of comfort. You may know now because you're taking this class with me. But the average Muslim don't know. What did the Prophet Muhammad tell y'all to do? For the average layman who only knows the basics, because that's all we have to know. What I'm teaching you now, you don't have to learn this. We only have to know the basics. What did the Prophet Muhammad say for the average Muslim to do if you're going through a problem in life and you need guidance? Well, if you need guidance, what did the Prophet tell us to do?
Ask the people in knowledge.
There's your answer. You would go, that's the purpose of you brothers, that's the purpose of the imam. You brothers would go to the mosque and ask the imam, man, I'm going through some rough times. I need some guidance. That's the purpose of the imam, okay? You sisters, the same thing. You know, the imam, he's responsible for his community. You would ask, but for you sisters, y'all got me. I'm your teacher. You'd come to me and say, Sister Layla, what's something I can do, to pick myself up? Like Sister Amina here is always asking because she suffers with, semi-bipolarism, like me. Okay? But for the lay person, you ask the people of knowledge. And then when you go to them, that's what this is about. You come to say I'm the imam of the mosque. This is the job of the imam. He will go through the Quran like I just went over, chapter by chapter, trying to find the subject matter that will address whatever is ailing the community. You understand? So what I'm teaching here is what the person you come to will go through.
Okay.
When y'all come to me, this is what I do. When y'all hear me quoting all them hadiths, all those verses of the Quran, when I'm answering these questions from these sisters and these new shahadas, I've done that. Okay? I've done that. I've went through the Quran and put the hadiths with it so I can tell them, this is what you do to deal with your anxiety. This is what you do to handle the fact that you ain't got a husband. This is my job. Or his job, Sheikh Kareem Abu Zayd's. Okay, y'all come to the people of knowledge. But this class, this is called the science of the Quran. This is a class that I told you ain't going to learn nowhere unless you were in El Azhar University or the University of Medina. Okay? But you guys still can take this and do the same too. Because none of y'all are stupid. Norto can probably pick up this book and do this. Fame, I'm sure you do it all the time. Isra, Faiza. You can do it too, Aya. Your auntie Ifti, this is what she does. She'll look at the Quran, look for a chapter that addresses her. She needs light. So she'll read Surah Nur, and she'll break down each sentence and ponder the meaning of it word by word. So you guys should be able to apply it because you're learning this from me. The average Muslim doesn't learn this. So they go to the Imam. Y'all got it?
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
But this is the approach y'all use, that we all use, that all of us should be using. Yes. Yeah, any other questions? Yes. What happened on Twitch, y'all? I had about 100 people in here, and these crazy kids came on Twitch.
Yeah, me and Geechee got them, but I'm not a moderator, so I had Geechee get them because you didn't put me in there.
And you know what happened? That was, I don't know what type of program they was using, but it went down to just 9 people in here. We had 50 people, and it went down to 9. So I don't know what I think they were doing a raid, which is good for my website.
Yeah, I just basically silenced a lot of them. I didn't block them.
Yeah.
I silenced them, and I didn't restrict them, but under the moderation, you can I forgot what the option was also. They basically, if they have any like cool words or whatnot, it monitors it.
Yeah, so they didn't they didn't put no bad words in. I think they did a raid. Raids are supposed to be good, y'all. That's why I saw, and I see why, because we went from 50 to 9. When they do a channel raid, that's good. It brings people, it gets your channel on Twitch recognized. And they didn't type anything bad, so y'all should have left them alone.
Playing, they was like saying all kinds of
yes, that's raiding.
Yeah,
that's raiding. Let them raid on Twitch, because on Twitch, and these are Muslims that raided me. Yeah, they were. You let them raid, because that's how you. If you read on Twitch, it tells you that's how your channel gets discovered. The more you get raided, the more you get discovered. But y'all see, they didn't type nothing bad. Yeah, Twitch is different. You can raid there, because I got that Autobot in there. Let them raid.
Yeah. I have a question, if that's okay.
Yes, go ahead.
And I'm sorry, I just can't wait until Sunday. Because it's been bothering me. I see some people that when they're doing what is it?
Wait a minute, hold on for a second. Let me read this right quick. Wait, hold on for 1 second. Let me show them this right quick. See? The Twitch is good, y'all. Let them do that. Let me show y'all what it says. Hold on for a second. Let me screen share this. Oh, I can't screen share. It says right here, though, I just Googled it because I know a Twitch raid. A Twitch raid is a feature that allows a streamer to send their viewers. That's why I went from, they sent their whole channel to us, which is good. They send their viewers to another channel after their stream ends. Raids are a way for streamers to support each other, to introduce. See this, Geechee and Mina? Y'all see that? Y'all can't be heavy-handed. It's their way to support each other, to introduce their audience to other creators and make connections, and to share and grow a person's community. And to raid, you simply type, they show you how to do it. So they were good people. I knew they were Muslims because they were saying, a couple of them was trying to ask me a question. Yeah, so let them come. Twitch is a good program because I got them Autobots, and those Muslims on Twitch are trying to promote me. Y'all know we've been on Twitch for a while. It's Rumble that we got to keep an eye on, because they don't have that option. Yeah. Okay, so I'll make sure that they're not blocked. That was nice, because I said, wow, 50 people in here. Then something happened. I said, it's only 8. So they was promoting us. Yeah. So yeah, Twitch is cool. Yeah, y'all ain't even gotta watch Twitch that much because I got the robot. It's Rumble.
Because I seen AY in there on Rumble, so I wasn't tripping on that one. Okay.
Yeah,
so
but Twitch is cool. Yeah, and you see they was typing. He said, "Wallahi." Yeah, you see they were trying to help. He sent his whole. Let me see this. They sent their whole channel in here for real, y'all. Look at this. They showed it up. That's called a he says salam, bravo. Okay, good. Okay. Sorry, kids. Raid me again. Okay, go ahead with your question, baby. I'm sorry. These streaming programs are great. Go ahead.
You're okay.
Yeah.
I was wondering, what are the beads that I see people doing? What are the beads that I see people doing? Like dhikr with? And my second question is, how do I go about figuring out if a masjid is Sunni or not?
Okay, the dhikr beads is an innovation. Okay, the Prophet Muhammad, only time you need dhikr, this is Sufi too. The Sufis walk around with them beads around their necks and stuff. Okay, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said all acts of worship must be done the way Allah legislated. The Prophet Muhammad taught us how to remember Allah. Dhikr is an Arabic word that means remember Allah. The Prophet used to count if he wanted to sit up, like say he wanted to say Subhanallah 50 times, he would count on his fingers. Okay? He did not use a bead. But there were some companions that could not count. They would use rocks. So if you know how to count, you don't need a dhikr bead to count with, because that's an act of worship. It should be done the way the Prophet did it. Okay, use your fingers.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then as far as what was the second about again? Oh, the mosque. Let me tell you something. You live in America. I want you to remember, I know you're excited because you're a new Shahada. It happens to all of us. We, especially a Muslim woman, I'm just going to keep it real. You will find that whenever you go to a mosque, you're not going to be welcomed. I'm just going to let you be the truth, especially by the women. Women are harsh. Women are crazy. Women are jealous. When you go to the mosque, they're going to attack you because of what clothes you got on. They're going to attack you and tell you that it's haram to do this, haram to do that. 9 times out of 10, your experience at the masjid is not going to be pleasant. And everybody here knows I'm speaking the truth.
Oh, goodness.
So I'm letting you know, that's why Allah says a Muslim woman gets more blessings at home than at the mosque. We get more blessings. You're getting more blessings praying your prayers by yourself and listening to me, learning here on your computer in your house than you are at any mosque or any university. Because Allah knows his creation. Women are sick. And I'm going to tell you, the only mosque that I can go to, that I know, that I'll be treated with dignity is my family mosque. I am a daya. Every time I go to a mosque, something happens. The last time I went to a mosque was 2 years ago when Dr. Dramali and his wife came. I went to that mosque and a woman came in and started beating her head up against the wall. Another woman came in and saw Dr. Dramali's wife talking, walked up on her like she's getting ready to do something, and Allahu Akbar started praying to her. Before I went to that mosque, the mosque I went to before that, a woman spit on me in my face. We're making salat. I'm standing there with the imam, behind the imam with all the other women. And all of a sudden, as he's reciting the Fatiha, right on my face, instinct, I punched her out. I said, "Why did you spit at me?" I was having was.
There you go. I'm sorry. because I would want to.
And I punched her out and made the whole line fall. And like I told her, you don't spit. That's a sin. The hadith says blow air over your shoulder, not spit. So after that, that's when I said I'm never going to a mosque again in my life, unless it's my family mosque, which is known as IRM, which is a mosque where Mukhtar, where we all are. We all grew up together. We're family. It's love, love, love. That's it. I don't go to the mosques. There's a mosque right here on the corner of my street. I don't go because I already know when I walk in there, some woman is going to jump in my face and tell me that I'm going to hell because I got colors on and because I got bling on and because I'm beautiful. And all it's going to do is depress me. So I don't go. Allah knows his creation. Where you live at in Indiana, I don't know of any good mosques there. I'm just going to be honest. They got one big mosque. No, that's in Kentucky. I don't know of any mosque where you are. That's upon the Sunnah.
And they call themselves an Islamic center. So I was like, ooh, I wonder.
Everybody is. All the mosques are all called Islamic centers. That's how we get our nonprofit. Yeah, they're the Islamic center. Yeah, that doesn't mean anything. But then even if you go to a mosque, even if they call themselves being upon the Sunnah, 9 times out of 10 they ain't. Because you got the extreme, crazy, radical Salafis that'll call you a kafir because you got on lipstick, because you drink Starbucks, you a kafir, because you beautiful, you a kafir. And then you got the mystic Sufis, like I had to deal with this weekend, who thinks everything is permissible. So I'm going to be honest. Finding a good mosque is hard. If you lived in South Carolina, I tell you to go to Sheikh Ackley's mosque. If you lived in Denver, Colorado, I tell you to go to Imam Kareem Abu Zaid's mosque. If you lived in Carbondale, Illinois, I tell you to go to Sheikh Morsi's mosque. Okay, but
anywhere except for Indiana, we all out here by ourselves.
But let me check out Indiana right quick though, because I do know another brother that moved there. Hold on. What mosques, Indiana? You close to me. Oh, you got that there. You got a lot of mosques there. Just go to any of them. They all the same. I'm going to tell you, they all are come a dime a dozen. But I did hear of, you got El Huda.
Where is that at? What city?
Fishers, Indiana.
Oh, that's 3 hours away.
Okay, what city you in? Indianapolis?
I am in, well, right now I'm in South Bend, Indiana, where Notre Dame College is.
Okay, let me see. Mosques near Notre Dame. You got the Islamic Society. This is in South Bend.
That's the one I was going to go to. I'm 4 miles away.
Okay, let me check them out right quick. I'll tell you what they are.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, let me see who their imam is. Yeah, check them out. You check them out. They might be okay. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. And so I fried.
Yeah, that's I'm trying to see what their imam is, but I'm just looking at their stuff. Good. Okay, hold on.
I emailed them just to make sure that I'm welcome, but I haven't got a response yet, but I'm still going to go on Friday.
Yeah, just go. I mean, you need to experience what it's like to go to the mosque, but just don't be shocked. Oh, they got Newer Academy there too. Just don't be shocked if the women are very unfriendly, because women are horrible. I'm telling you, they really are. I'm trying to see who the imam is. Wait a minute. Why come this ain't telling me who their imam is? I see who their board is. I don't even think they got an imam. But yeah, just go there for Juma. I mean, it'll be nice.
Okay.
But for, nothing, I know you wanted, go so you can see what a mosque is like. Yeah, you'll be all right there. I'm looking at them. They seem to be okay.
Thank you. I can't wait. Whew. It's going to be an experience either way.
Yeah, either way. Yeah, you'll be all right, though. I'm looking. I like what they got on here. Yeah, I like what they got here. Yeah. Oh, wow. Friday sermons. Okay, here the Imam is. I found his name. Let me Google him. Okay, I found their Imam. Let me see if I know him.
And thank you for verbally walking me through this process. So now when I'm getting ready to go to another masjid, I'll know exactly what you're doing. Going and looking on the site, then finding the Imam and searching him on Google and seeing what I find.
Yeah, I think you would like him, but this mosque. But I'm gonna tell you, this Imam ain't got no beard, so forget about the Sunnah. But you ain't gonna learn the Sunnah nowhere but from me anyway, in my website. But you can go there. They should be nice. He's a black. He's not even black, I don't think. Wait a minute, he might be black. Let me show you his picture. I'll show you his picture after the class. But
what if he's native and can't grow a beard?
No, you can tell he's shaving. You can tell he's shaved. Oh, he got his he works at he got his degree from the University of Notre Dame. He looks nice though. He looks kind. So I'm pretty sure you got it's a nice mosque for you for right now. But like I say, the mosque is just a place of worship anyway. That's all the mosque is. It's just a place of worship. You're not going to learn anything like what I'm teaching at the mosque anyway. So you just want to go so you can do the Zoom, you want to go so you can do the prayer. Just, oh, wow. Yeah, I'm looking at him. He's from South Africa. Okay. Yeah, he's from South Africa. But yes, it'll be fine for you for now. Yeah. He'll be fine.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, he's kind. I'm looking at his stuff. He seems to be very kind, which is what you need. Yeah, you'll be all right there, inshallah. Okay, any other questions or comments? No, Brother Tajri, Columbia, South Carolina, Sheikh Ali. No Sheikh Ali. No, I was gonna say if she was in Columbia, it would be Muhammad Saeed Ali. That's the only person I know I can talk about. And Sheikh Kareem Abu Zayd. Kareem Abu Zayd got that school. His mosque has that school, guys. That's why I said Sheikh Kareem Abu Zayd's mosque. They got that Islamic school. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but yeah. Okay, I'm gonna log out. Inshallah, I'll be back tomorrow. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Yeah, I'm looking at this.